Did you know that respiratory diseases are the third leading cause of death worldwide? Death rates for respiratory diseases have been rising for decades and have only been exacerbated by the emergence of COVID-19. The reason why the mortality rate of those with respiratory diseases is so high is that the majority of people with respiratory diseases are often asymptomatic until the diseases reach later stages, to the point where they become much harder to treat. The early diagnosis and treatment of respiratory diseases are crucial for survival. This is especially the case for people who are at higher risk for complications and deaths if they were to catch respiratory diseases. For example, my elderly grandparents and relatives who have been through cancer and are immunocompromised. According to the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, Goal 3 states that ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being at all ages is essential to sustainable development. Currently, the world is facing a global health crisis unlike any other in terms of far-reaching consequences affecting every part of the world. COVID-19 is spreading human suffering, destabilizing the global economy, and traumatizing the lives of billions of people around the globe. Countries' abilities to cope and recover from the COVID-19 crisis have been of great concern to the United Nations Development Program. My solution is a mobile app that uses artificial intelligence to diagnose a range of respiratory diseases, including COVID-19. My app uses AI to analyze recordings and diagnose COVID-19 among other respiratory diseases without the need for human intervention. It provides a zero-cost, easily accessible, and fast testing alternative to any user who has access to a mobile device. Therefore, it allows respiratory diseases to be caught early on and treated as fast as possible to reduce the mortality rate. Comparing this to how nucleic acid tests take a long time to receive results and how rapid antigen tests can be costly, this app could reduce the workload of health workers and testing facilities. I hope that my mobile app can help to reduce the waves of COVID-19, especially in developing countries with limited access to COVID-19 vaccines and testing facilities. People can check themselves regularly at no cost at any time on the app, and the diagnosis only takes a few seconds. This app will have a positive effect on direct and indirect users, as users can diagnose themselves with respiratory diseases and receive treatment faster, reducing the spread of such diseases in communities. It will have a positive effect on the planet because a virtual method of diagnosis reduces waste produced through traditional testing methods, which are often non-recyclable and non-reusable. And the mass majority of recyclable waste produced are sent to landfills, increasing the carbon emissions and harming wildlife. Furthermore, carbon emissions produced during the process of manufacturing the test kits will also be reduced, as the app does not produce any while users are using it. In the initial draft of the app, there was an AI diagnosis function that differentiated between COVID-19, healthy, and other respiratory diseases based on coughs. According to the initial feedback I collected, users suggested that I split the training data into COVID-19 positive and negative, and then also allow the AI model to predict background noises in case they sway the prediction. I implemented this change into the app and also added a diagnosis function to diagnose only non-COVID respiratory diseases through breathing on top of diagnosis COVID through coughs, and this increased the accuracy of predictions as a whole. Another suggestion was turning the map view into an interactive display instead of being a visual element to support locations, which I used to change the info users are viewing. Some future goals and plans for this app are launching the app on the App Store for worldwide use and partnering with global respiratory foundations to collect more data for training the AI to improve the accuracy of the diagnosis. Eventually, I hope that my mobile app will reach a wider audience and benefit more people. I particularly would like to roll out my app to developing countries where testing for respiratory diseases is not accessible.